Cellular chaos. This time yesterday, tens of thousands of Americans, including right here in Charlotte, were just starting to get back their cell phone service after hours of issues. A top concern during that time was the inability for those impacted to call emergency services. Queen City News Chief Business Correspondent Taylor Young is joining us now. And Taylor, these people were told, of course, that there were other ways that they could call 911.
Yeah, so during those hours of the outage, AT&T and other law enforcement agencies across the country told those that were impacted by the outage that if there was an emergency, to use a landline to call 911. The problem with that is not many people have those anymore. So back in 2004, around 90% of American households had traditional landlines. But since the boom of cell phones, we've seen more and more households cut the cord on their home phones. So in 2022, it's estimated only 30% of people have their landline. But just because we have seen a dramatic drop there, it does not mean these landlines aren't still essential. They're still being used primarily by people over the age of 65, people who live in rural areas that might not have great cell phone service, as well as many businesses. So they are still being used out there.
Well, yeah, and my house doesn't have a landline, so I'm part of that group. But what is the likelihood of the plug being pulled on landlines altogether? Because that has been the talk for some time now, too.
It has. So just a couple of weeks ago, we saw that AT&T had asked permission to discontinue servicing traditional landlines in some parts of California, citing a decline in demand. And AT&T is not alone in this effort. There is an industry-wide push to phase out landlines again because of that drop in demand. But this, of course, will not happen overnight, and it will need government approval.
Yeah, but certainly yesterday's incident made a lot of people rethink what they would do in an emergency and just how reliant we are on our cell phones and the internet. So lots to think about. Taylor, thank you.